welcome to my video about another of Chopin's posthumous waltzes. So another fantastic and beautiful piece of music that Chopin decided not to publish. Of course you are wondering why he didn't want to publish such a great piece. The answer, in my opinion, is very simple, and I think I talked about it in my other video, that Chopin didn't want to be connected after his death to salon music. He wanted to be connected to serious music, to music, to masterpieces that he worked out every detail, to pieces like ballades, sonatas, nocturnes, etudes and scherzos and so on. This is a very short salon waltz, which of course is fantastic, but it's not polished by Chopin, and it's not created to be published. There are many proofs of this, and the main proof is that Chopin didn't even put the tempo mark here. There's no tempo marking. So we don't really know in which tempo to play it, or we can decide which tempo we like and which tempo we want to play this piece, because the composer didn't tell us anything. I think that this should not be too fast, and why I will show you during our analysis today. So please stay with me and we start our journey through this beautiful piece of music. 19 years old Chopin, still in Warsaw, still happy, in love, and full of expectations, hopes, surrounded by friends and family, is composing a piece, the Salon Waltz piece of music. As I said, no tempo marking, but there is another characteristic in this waltz that we didn't have before, and the waltzes that he wrote before, and this is the thing that makes me think that this waltz was written a little later. Chopin is experimenting, he's changing his style and language, and is taking inspiration from Bach. Yes, my friend, Johann Sebastian Bach. Why? Because all the waltz, all this one, is written in two voices. There are two voices from the beginning to the end. Could you hear that? Some of you for sure, but some of you not. And those of you who didn't, I will show you and you will be shocked. There are two voices all the time, and I will show you them. So let's start from the first musical phrase, which is typical for Chopin. We have two sentences, one which asks question and making us breathe. When we breathe, we are inhaling the air, and then another one we are exhaling the air. And the second one starts exactly the same like the first one. Listen, first one. This is the tension, and then the second one starts the same, and ends in tonic, so ends normally. This is very obvious, and I think we can hear it when we listen. It's very natural for us, that's why we love it. But where are two voices here? Now, okay, let me play for you the first voice which we hear. That's the first voice, and now the second voice. Wonderful. Then this voice is enriching the first one, right? It's not a typical Chopin melody, but it's enriching the first one. Let's play those two together, but I play the second voice 2 octaves lower, so in the bass. Okay, listen. I will play the second voice only with the left hand. So that's how it is. And then now, when we play together, of course, we can show the lower voice a little bit more. Now I play for you so that I bring out the lower voice very much. And I will hide the top voice. Very interesting, but I don't really play like that because I think this lower voice is not the soloist, it's just, as I said before, enriching the top voice. And now, how it is constructed, what is special in this? I think this is a fantastic musical phrase, mostly because Chopin is playing with colors. He is like a great painter, like a fantastic painter like Renoir or Van Gogh or all the others, like the greatest, Delacroix and hundreds of those names. He is mixing colors and looking at them, trying to find out what he likes, what he doesn't like, which color is good, which color he can use. And these colors, that you know what are colors in music? Colors are when we, let's say I'm a painter now and I want to make some colors. So what I'm doing is I'm checking how, for example, these two notes will sound with these two notes. Oh. And then I play some melody. But then, okay, I don't like it, so I change the color for the melody, for example. It's different. Or the same melody. Everything is colors, so chords, so the harmonies. And I mean, well, we know it, but just it's good to remember that, because now I play for you this waltz in an extremely slow tempo, just to have time to listen to every color. Listen and enjoy. What's so special about this? Look, this color, for example, very strange. And now the surprise. This is a fantastic moment. Listen. What happens here? It's a little jazzy harmony. Chopin is doing here something incredible, and he's only 19 years old. And he didn't publish this piece, but still he's experimenting. In the right hand, we have the major key. A very regular classical major key, so the happy key, right? But he puts in the left hand the minor key at the same time, and he's mixing them together. So this is exactly what I mean by saying that he's mixing colors. Listen how it sounds fantastic. Left hand minor, right hand major. Together. It's a very, very modern jazzy. So sorry to all the jazz musicians, But you were not the first. 200 years ago, Mr. Chopin already discovered this and was using it in his music. So anyway, coming back to this, it's a fantastic moment, one of my favorite in this waltz. Changing, 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 changing. This waltz sounds so fantastic when it's played slowly that I really have a strong will. I would love to record this in such a slow tempo and put it on YouTube for the world, just for the world to explore Chopin in extremely slow tempo, in this piece especially. And I will do it. I will. Coming back to this, so now a very important thing. One of my great masters, one of the greatest pianists who taught me a lot, American pianist who is still alive, Jeffrey Swan, based in New York, a genius, a really fantastic musician and pianist, and with a great genius brain, who I always look up to, and it's a great authority to me. He taught me many things. And one of the things that he taught me, and I think about it here, is something that he called, I think he called it a harmonic rhythm, as far as I remember. What it means that there is something in music that is connected to harmonies, and when the composer is changing the harmonies very frequently, all the time is changing harmonies. Chopin is doing this a lot in his etudes, for example. Many of his etudes, not all. But anyway, when we have these changes of, or mazurkas, for example, when we have these changes of harmonies, of chords, we should slow down, or he called it a harmonic tempo. We should slow down to have time to enjoy and experience all these changes, because in faster tempo we simply cannot hear them. And he says that even if composer didn't write in the score to slow down, we are bound to do it, because we owe this to Chopin and to the listeners. So, of course, not such an extreme slowdown, right? But this was, in my opinion, that is the reason that I told you at the beginning of the video that we should play this waltz slower. So, this is the first musical phrase in part A. Now let's proceed to the second musical phrase, which is very different. Then repeat it. And now we still have two voices, but the lower voice is just enriching the top voice. Listen to the lower voice. Right? The left hand, it doesn't really even have chords. Can you imagine? We have, this is not a chord, and then this is a chord, but without the middle, so it's empty. Again. Finally here we have chords at the end, and then the second part, we have chords in the second part. So this is very different because we have, well, it's very elegant, very French, I would say, very beautiful. But we have here something that is a little unusual, because the first sentence, the one that normally asks questions and creates the tension, is doing this, but the second sentence is very different musically. It's not this, it doesn't start the same. It's just the continuation of the first one. Listen again. And the second one. So, in fact, I think that Chopin was thinking about these 8 bars, these are 8 bars, as one. And then he repeats them so that it's like 1 and then the second one, and it makes the whole big sentence. That's what my feeling is here. And this is how the part A is constructed. Very beautiful way. And this, focus on this. As you can see, we have this constant hesitations. We don't know this one or this one. Or maybe this one, or maybe this one. Maybe this one, 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 maybe this one. All the time repeating the same thing. It's like the suspended note, resolved. Suspended note, resolved. Suspension, resolved. Suspension, resolved. Suspension. Okay, now after that we have the trio. So even in this waltz we also have the trio. Trio, so middle part of the waltz. And the trio is also two voices, but in the trio, Chopin is doing something that I've done in this video at the beginning when do you remember? I played for you the upper voice here and the lower voice here. So in the trio, Chopin decides, okay, I'm doing this now because Niemczuk is always doing that in my analysis, so when he will do the analysis 200 years later, he will do it for sure, so I will do it before him, so that I will do it and he will not have to show this to all the people. I will do it myself. That's of course a joke, but seriously speaking, Chopin in the trio of this waltz is creating a kind of duet. And when I play this trio, the first part of this trio, I always think about how sad it is that Chopin never wrote an opera, because he would write such a fantastic opera. Just listen to this duet. And now I play for you only the duet, so only her and him together. So imagine that this is an opera aria, opera duet, and the singers, the man and woman, they met together, are meeting together now, without orchestra, just before the general rehearsal, to coordinate and to feel each other so that they can sing like one body, like a one person, because it's not that easy. So we are inside the rehearsal of two singers. One more time, because she made a mistake. Fantastically written, because sometimes they play exactly together, sometimes they are complementing each other. Let's analyze this. At the beginning, she plays the long note, he plays many notes, and then they are playing exactly together in six, and then they play they sing different rhythm. That's the second phrase, the second sentence, I mean, and the conclusion. And now they can, when they meet together, they can decide who is singing louder. And there are many options for the pianist as well. What are the options here? Well, we can show only her. We can show only him. But we can also do, we can show him first, her second, or we can show him first and her. And again him and her, or the other way. many options. We can show them together as well. So pianist in this waltz has a lot of possibilities. Thanks God Chopin is writing repetitions, so we can change our interpretation every time we play this moment. Now, what the orchestra plays here when they play together, and where is the accompaniment? Well, the accompaniment is hidden on the left, in the left part of the right hand. So it sounds like this. This is the accompaniment of the orchestra, and together it sounds. And then the second part of the trio, and now listen to this. Does it remind you something? It should. Yes. This is taken from part A, from the waltz. It's taken. This is the first time in waltz that the composer is taking inspiration from part A and writing a trio based, a part of trio based on the same motif. And this is exactly what happens here. So it's of course very simple melody, but it's genius. And also it's very natural because we are breathing. We are inhaling and exhaling. Listen, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we go back to the duet. Okay, and the waltz ends. I mean, there is a repetition of part A and the end of the waltz. Very short, very cute. One of my favorite posthumous waltzes by Chopin. Very rich in colors, very elegant and very beautiful to listen to. So now, because it's my favorite, I played for you one more time, slower a little, so that we can enjoy every single color. thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in my other videos. There are so many of them already. Bye bye.